Hi everyone, I'm Scott Bynel, Vice President of Marketing for North America, and today on Crawford Chat, I am joined by Steve DelGreco, the Sales Director. Steve, welcome to Crawford Chat.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Well, listen, Steve, I've got lots of questions for you. My first question is, what would you say you do here? What is it that you do at Crawford?
Well, I'm the last 4 months, I've been a sales director, and I'm really been focusing on some of the 2024 objectives that we have, and growing our top 5 clients, trying to grow revenues with them, and so that's my official role. But I'm also involved in mentoring some of the people within the organization. So in a nutshell, that's the simple thing of what I do here.
Perfect. No, that's great. Very succinct answer. I like it. Yeah.
Some people would tell you it's not enough.
Right. It's a good elevator pitch, and I need to work on mine because mine's a jumbled mess. But I don't want to talk to you today about your job as we do on Crawford Chat. It's not about your day job. It's about the things that you're passionate about or things maybe on the side of your desk. I want to know about friends in the industry healing together. Tell me what this is. What is it all about, Steve?
Perfect. Well, first things first, I have to bring you some Friends of the Industry Healing Together swag.
Wonderful. Let's show the camera. Show the camera.
Okay. It's a beautiful shoe bag, a carrier of some kind with little knapsack straps that you can carry it. So it's a really great thing. And everybody coming to our golf tournament in May will get one with goodies inside. But Friends of the Industry Healing Together is an organization that is a non-for-profit, a registered non-for-profit organization that 6 people from the insurance industry got together and said, let's put this organization together to help people who are suffering from mental illness and families who are struggling because they have family members or friends who are dealing with issues. So our first discussion was February 2023, and we've been working on pushing this organization forward since then.
That's beautiful, and appreciate the gift.
Thank you.
You've definitely set a precedent for future guests to bring gifts. I'm joking, but I do appreciate it. Listen, Steve, I love the initiative just from what you just said and the little bit that I do know about it. But tell me, why is this initiative so important for you? Why are you involved in this?
Listen, I think basically it's a huge issue. Mental health issue is a huge issue in society today. One of the things I stress a lot in our meetings is, it was a health crisis before COVID. Right. And if we think that COVID brought it to the crisis level, we're wrong. It was a crisis before COVID. But COVID brought it to a whole new stratosphere. So it's very important. And we all have friends, family. Unfortunately, we've seen colleagues through the years. I've been in this business close to 30 years, and through the years, I've seen people who struggled. And, for a lot of years, there wasn't a lot of help for people, wasn't a lot of support. There was some, shame in it, unfortunately. And I remember working in offices way back now, Crawford, where people rolled their eyes if someone was off. And it was horrible. And there's a lot of people who need help, a lot of family members who need help. And I know I'm dragging a bit, but the main key, and I want to give my wife some credit here, we have some friends who are dealing with some mental health issues with their children. And they're 2 awesome friends who are 2 of the founders, I might add. And my wife, Donna, we're leaving their home one night, and Donna turned to me and said, Steve, what do the people do who don't have mothers who are bulldogs, who don't have mothers who won't take no, don't have mothers who will knock on other doors and say, hey, where can I get help? And it was like, that is true. And so all of this kind of started that, I don't just want to help. I had staff members that we helped through, HR at Crawford helped us a lot and helped people. I want to do more. And so a group of us got together. And so that's why it's important to me.
So Steve, thankfully, mental health awareness is a lot more prevalent right now, I think, in the workplace. You sort of mentioned in your previous answer about how traditionally it wasn't really sort of seen in the same light as it is today, and it's not treated with the same care. How can Crawford or employees of Crawford or other organizations in this industry do more to help push the agenda forward or the awareness forward of mental health?
Yeah, that's a great comment, Scott. one thing I want to start by saying is Crawford, and I'm very proud to say this, and I brag about it all the time. Crawford, to me, from the organizations I know in the industry, seemed to be at the forefront. Well before COVID, there was mental health courses being offered virtually or online and in person. And as a branch manager, which I was prior to COVID, I attended a 2-day session in our head office in Kitchener. And it was all about helping managers identify signs that their staff may be having some mental health issues or mental health troubles, and how to guide them. And it wasn't about curing them, because we're not smart enough to. It was just about how, speaking to them about it, maybe directing them to some services that can help and that Crawford can do to help. And I've seen Crawford step up many times. I have many examples, but that's one of them that I was very proud of. So we need that to continue. And I know in a couple of weeks, Mental Health Week is coming up. I'm hearing more companies within the industry stepping up and doing that type of information sessions. So that's something that we can all do. And as far as an employee, we can sit there and check in on people. Take a look if maybe our friends don't seem themselves that day, and it's okay to ask if we can help. And more importantly, and again, I think we've improved in this area. More importantly, let's not judge.
Right.
Let's be supportive. Let's help them out when we can, give some advice when we can, direct them in the right direction when we can. But let's not judge. Right. And I think that's probably the most we can do.
So Steve, you mentioned COVID and the change of work environment. How do you think remote work and work from home has affected mental health?
I think it had a really big impact. I don't know where to put it on the scale. Again, I'm not that smart, so I don't really know where to put it on the scale. But there's no doubt, it's had a big impact. You're used to working with a bunch of people who, again, if you're going into a dark place, someone's going to pick up on that in the office. And you're also socializing with people, so you're probably in a better state of mind and that sort of thing. And you're maybe going out for lunches, you're going out or just, having a joke with the person who sits next to you. Whereas, working remotely, you're, by yourself, sometimes in a small room, closing your office in your house or your condo. And if you live alone too, that's even more. So you're working by yourself, you're living by yourself. And during COVID, there was you couldn't even go out really. So there's no doubt that had a major impact. And, the studies have shown that that's increased. And again, if I can brag for a minute, Crawford was really good at making sure that managers, I know we would be contacted all the time about making sure you're reaching out to your people. And so I think back to friends, please check in on your friends and family. But there's no doubt the remote work, and I'm still concerned about that. It comes up a lot in our discussions that people are working by themselves and maybe living by themselves, and we're a community, right? And it's one of the things that Fit's hoping to help with. But so that remote worker is a big concern.
And that's a great point, Steve. I think there's an assumption, and I remember people saying this all the time, that when COVID hit, everybody had to kind of work from home, work remote. We were kind of in this state of wait and see. And I remember a lot of people said, but we're all in the same boat. And I remember thinking to myself, no, we're not though. Because as you mentioned, right, there's some people who maybe live with a spouse, or they live with their spouse and kids, and so they're surrounded by their loved ones, right? All the time, which can drive people crazy too. But they're not lonely in the sense of they're seeing people during the day, albeit the same people, but they're seeing people during the day. And I remember, talking to some people who lived alone, like they didn't have a spouse or a partner, they didn't have children. And so their interactions with human beings were entirely predicated on going out with friends or going to work. And when you strip away those two things, it's easy. You and I have families, and we go home. We're working from home and we're with our families. Not everybody had that. Yeah. So it was a very different. So we weren't all in the same boat. In fact, we were less in the same boat probably than ever before, right? And you sort of flip that thought. And so I think to have that awareness was really, really important to sort of understand that. The last question I have for you, Stephen, this has been a really great chat. I've really, really appreciated this, is how can others get involved with the initiative Friends in the Industry Healing Together? How can anybody watching in Crawford or anybody watching in the industry that that thinks to themselves like, hey, I would love to get involved in this. This is personal to me. I've dealt with this myself, or I know somebody dealing with this. How can they, one, maybe tap into resources, or two, actually be extra hands and enroll themselves or become part of this community?
Perfect. If I can do a little plug on it, because it kind of fits all of this, but our website, fiht.ca.
We'll put it on screen.
Yeah,
we'll put it on
Friends
screen.
of the Industry Healing Together is the long name, and we have a LinkedIn, Friends of the Industry Healing Together, so please go to LinkedIn. We have a website, fiht.ca. We say fit a lot, fiht.ca. And you can sign up for volunteering in that. And where we need support is come to attend our events. We're working on and we're developing right now our digital platform. And what we're going to have is a community page where people tell their stories, who obviously want to tell their stories, some on video, some written. So hopefully people will go there and read these stories or hear these stories and feel that they're not alone. So there's going to be a few areas of the website. So we need some corporate support for that. So, we have some support packages arranged that are very reasonable. We're all business people, and all the founders are business people. And we know the challenges of expense today, so there's a few different packages that all fit within any organization's support. And then there's other areas where you can go to the website and sign up to be a volunteer. But we need more talk about the events. We do need more corporate and individual financial support. There's no doubt about that. But one of the things we're also doing in our set is to keep it very grassroots. If I may go a little bit further, Friends of the Industry Healing Together is a bit of a mouthful, but it wasn't coincidence. Right. It started as a bunch of friends of the industry who want to get together and make a difference. And then it was like, well, what are we hoping to do? We're hoping to heal people, and we're healing together. Part of the thing is we're hoping to create a community. These people who are alone, we do hikes where we get everyone together, and we do that, and we really stress the community and getting out and sharing sharing stories with people. So I guess go to our site, go to our LinkedIn, like our pages, connect there. You can ask to be a volunteer. If your corporation would like to be a supporter, we would really appreciate that. We're here to help people within the industry. So I know that's a long answer, but it's really, there's a lot that we're trying to do.
Yeah. No, Steve, it's beautiful. I think it's incredible. This sort of, this kind of initiative and all of this is really sort of close and personal to me as well. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and talk to everybody watching about this initiative. More people should get involved, individuals, corporations, we will put the website on screen so people can go check it out. But yeah, Steve, thanks so much for your time. Thank you for coming in and chatting with me. On behalf of me and everybody watching, I found this really interesting and sort of inspirational for me, and I'm going to look more into it. I knew about it before. I know a lot more about it now, and I'm going to dig in a little bit more. So thanks so much. Thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for the next episode of Crawford Chat.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't want it to fall on me because we do claims for that. And, I'll be a bad claimant.
When we talk about COVID and...
Is everything falling apart on me? Oh, I didn't even notice that.
The magic of editing.
Yeah.
Been in there the whole time?
Yeah, she's listening. She's listening. That's our competitor.
Pretend you're having an engaging conversation with me. My wife saw one of the clips that we did on a previous one, and she said, the table is really empty. You need to put something on the table. She's like, get some mugs. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. We'll just put some mugs. But there's nothing in the mug, so you can't drink it. But I licked one of them.
Okay,
and
sorry,
so you won't know which one I licked. So this is cup roulette. You're glowing. That's what they're saying. You're glowing.
That's
right
what people say.
Do you have a hat? You could pull it out of a hat.
I could pull it out of a hat.
This is how we need to start recruitment, is to go to Battle of the Bands. And just like, hey, you guys want to work in insurance? Hello, fellow young people. Today on Crawford Chat, I'm joined by another...
You screwed up first, so I'm good.
Somebody has to do the first screw up.
Yeah, and that's right. It takes the pressure off.
It's going to be me.
Yeah.
I do it on purpose, honestly. Yeah. Like, I'm actually quite good at these things. Yeah. I'm very good and professional and at speaking language. All right, should I clap again? Why not?